Priya, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you. Welcome to Bellwether Culture Podcast. I appreciate you coming on the show, and want to start off with quickly introducing yourself. Well, my daughter's introducing herself to everybody, so we'll give her a second, and then why don't you introduce yourself and what you're all about in Stashwell?
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Pav. So my name is Priya Malani. I'm the founder and CEO of Stash Wealth, and Stash Wealth is a virtual financial planning and investment management platform for a subsect of the millennial generation that we refer to as Henrys, high earners, not rich yet. Basically 20-somethings and 30-somethings who make good money and just want to keep their boozy brunch, avocado toast, rosé all day lifestyle, but also with that.
Don't we all? Priya.
We just want to get their financial shit together and figure out what the hell's a 401k and should I merge finances with my significant other and how do I manage my student loans. So we give them a platform and basically pair them up with a dedicated financial planner to help answer all of those questions, the shit you should have learned in school.
Yeah, I hear that. Good deal. So where are you right now? Like personally, where are you riding this whole COVID thing out? It seems like you're at home based on this frame.
Yeah, I'm at home. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a pleasant place to be, certainly under quarantine, at least through April 30th officially, but the weather here is much warmer than New York. Sorry, Pav. So it's been okay.
Okay. Just spending a lot of time outdoors and things then?
Yeah, trying to get outdoors a bit. I'm an entrepreneur, so we don't get out much in general, so this is not that different for me.
What does your day-to-day look like? Has it shifted?
What I'm trying to say is I have no life.
Fair enough. You fake it well on your Instagram, man. Do a good job.
Okay.
What is your current day-to-day? Has it shifted at all right now, or is it pretty much status quo? Have you introduced any new routines or tips and tricks or hobbies?
No, not really. I mean, other than the commute changing, right? Like no longer going into the office, but my old routine pre-COVID, I had a 6 a.m. standing dev call with our engineering team in India. So I always did that from home because I'm not going to be into the office at 6. Although sometimes back in the day I used to, but anyway, and then would go into the office. So I'm saving on the commute time. But other than that, I actually find I've been very hesitant to adopt a remote model. It's very difficult in the financial services industry from a compliance perspective to adopt a remote model, but regulations have changed temporarily because of COVID. So our entire team is working remotely, and it's actually surprising to the upside. Our team has been more productive. They're working longer hours, which is crazy. But we're in a really good phase business-wise.
How does the compliance side attach to this now, though? Is this something that you feel will sustain kind of like not a loosening of compliance, but is this going to be more of a confidence in compliance that you're able to do it? Yeah.
Like a modernizing, if anything. Like this has been something, as a millennial financial brand, we're one of the few firms that operates unlike the big traditional Wall Street institutions. So we're fighting very old, stodgy regulation that really doesn't make sense in the digital era. So I'm really hoping that this brings the compliance and regulatory side of the industry forward into the 21st century from so many different angles. Like one of the most, relevant right now is in the financial services industry, you're not allowed to work from home, meaning like I can't have my team of financial planners work from their home because then their home becomes a home office. It officially becomes auditable. We have to do compliance checks. It's very tedious and cumbersome. I'm hoping that loosens some of those standards because the millennial generation that works for us, they want to be able to have a work from home day or that sort of flexibility. So I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping a lot changes on, I'm sure you're familiar with the term social proof. In our world, social proof is everything. It's how we buy. You go onto a website, you check out reviews, you go onto Yelp. And in our industry, up until just a few years ago, we weren't even allowed to have testimonials on our website. We weren't even allowed to have a Yelp page. So I'm hoping that gets modernized.
How likely do you think these things are? Like from a remote working standpoint, I think that's super interesting. I can't imagine that, these large banks. So, I mean, as you mentioned, you're a boutique firm, that it's going against these older established banks. And, they have millions of square feet of commercial real estate in New York City. So not only do they have to pay that rent, but they're also paying an employee of New York City, that going rate versus somebody who might be, just in a more, I guess, let me just say that again. As opposed to paying for somebody that could be, in a city or a state that, demands just a less of an earning wage. So I'm wondering if that starts pushing the needle. What are you thinking there?
I definitely think it will. An article came out last week, Gorman of Morgan Stanley, saying that the post-COVID world will include work from home, flexibility. So in the financial services industry, work from home has never been a thing. My sister works in digital ad sales, and she'll talk about summer Fridays and work from home flexibility and all these things. And I'm like, that just doesn't exist in finance.
No, summer Fridays from Merrill Lynch used to be you could wear jeans if you paid $5 towards the nonprofits.
God, you remember that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But just, you get it. You used to work at Merrill, so like that just didn't fly. And already the big leaders of the biggest institutions are saying they can now see a world in which work from home is going to be part of their protocol.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. What else are you expecting to see in terms of a changing of sentiment, whether it's on the consumer side, how it's going to affect StashWorld specifically in your audience base, or just overall, your peers, your B2B environments as well?
I certainly think, as you and I were discussing earlier, that this is going to put an emphasis on the importance of planning in general. One of my favorite quotes is, planning eliminates the need to keep your fingers crossed. And right now there are a whole bunch of people with their fingers crossed because wages have been cut, people are furloughed, jobs have just been eliminated across the board. And, life is full of curveballs. And if you're not prepared for them, it's just very important to be prepared for them. Even when you think nothing bad will happen to you, shit won't hit the fan, shit inevitably hits the fan.
There's been a number of research reports showing that Gen Z has a more conservative approach, fiscal approach, to how they spend and prioritize their money. That hasn't been seen since, I guess, our parents' generation, right? And I'm wondering do you think that this is going to accelerate it through, the current situations with millennials and what we've been reading about their spending habits versus other generations? Do you think that this is going to be a full cultural shift potential?
Potential. I mean, like, it always skips a generation, right? Because that next generation learns from what the previous generation went through, and what the previous generation went through in context of us is 08, 09, and really seeing a lot of people come out of school, not get jobs. Maybe that was their big brother or big sister, and realizing like, oh, maybe I want to be better prepared. I want to be more conservative. So Gen Z, certainly studies are showing that they have more conservative habits. One thing at Stash that we're not big on is we're not big on trying to create or change new money habits. And that sounds strange for a financial firm to say, but in general, when you talk about changing your money habits, it almost always feels like the underlying message is save more, conserve, like don't buy that latte, don't get that avocado toast with arugula and pepitas on it, like don't get that $25 avocado toast. So instead of changing habits, we try to focus more on automation so that whatever's supposed to happen is happening automatically. And that way you can just blow the rest of your money guilt-free. Don't change your habits. If the money's there, blow it irresponsibly. We call it being responsibly reckless.
Very good. In this environment with COVID and what's going on with, the global economy on a standstill, there often is a lot of innovation and, old broken pieces that get melded into new exciting ones. Are you working on anything in particular, any initiatives or products or services that is a result of the current environment?
Nope. At the moment, we are just operating and pushing full steam ahead with our current mission, which I can certainly dive into a little bit more. But we're a very small, very lean team with taking on an incredibly large initiative. Luckily, the current environment hasn't required us to pivot at all, at all. What the core functionality of our company is intact. And if anything, we're just trying to buckle down, continue to push forth our goals and our initiatives for 2020 to make sure that we're on track to hit our goals. So we have some software development goals, we have hiring goals. We're just kind of full steam ahead right now, and this luckily hasn't distracted us one bit.
Do you anticipate a market opportunity for you guys when things turn around?
I mean, the current environment has already provided an opportunity in that people who weren't looking for handholding because they thought they were geniuses, because when the markets go up, it's pretty easy to feel like a genius, are now looking for help and support. So, you know, it stinks that that's how it happens, but many people don't realize that they want or need a plan until it's very late. So a lot of those, that has driven attention to our firm, and people are now looking to, quote, get their financial shit together. So if anything, we've just been inundated with new business simply because people are looking for that support that they weren't looking for when times were good.
Absolutely. Priya, is there anyone or any particular types of folks that you're looking to connect with these days?
So we absolutely are. We're actively hiring and just very aggressive about it right now. We have financial planning. Sorry?
That's interesting. That's unique.
Yeah, that is a very unique position to be in COVID times. We feel fortunate to be in this situation, and with a lot of the banks and overall a lot of the industries laying people off, we're trying to find and pick up some of that talent. Financial planning, we have a couple spots open for financial planners, experienced financial planners, and then we also have a director of marketing role open at the moment.
And what does that look like to you, your director of marketing?
It's a full ownership role that you would expect from a small startup. I call us a startup, but we're really a small business. I use startup because I like to really create that scrappy mentality, but it's everything from execution through strategy for director of marketing. So as long as you're a director of marketing that doesn't also mind taking on the role of a marketing coordinator, marketing manager, and the rest, then you're our person.
All right, good deal. Well, wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for spending your time with us and taking some time to lend your insights. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you soon.